discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing this wonderful Wednesday afternoon from you guys. And it's exactly a minute past 8 p.m. right here in the 254. It's been a great day. Apart from lights going out, raining, it's actually been a beautiful day and productive. Let me know how you're doing and how you're feeling yours and how so far the month of March is taking you and the week. Karibuni, my name is Joby. To those who are with us for the first time on YouTube, all our YouTube channels, returning listeners on the radio station, Spreaker, Spotify, whatever platform you're catching my voice from, and my pretty face as well. Yeah, but karibuni sana. Yeah, today we're gonna be continuing with the conversation of course, Iran and America. So much is still happening. Literally, we're on the day 5 of the war since it started, and America is literally meant to lose. There is so much going on, so many videos I'm gonna be sharing. Of course, we're gonna be backed or joined by Keith as well, as he explains much more on that. But before we get into that, let me start with this video. Let me start with these videos here, because that was yesterday. I think we saw Spain literally saying no. Spain said no to helping America, and of course this led to sanctions immediately. America was like, nah, we're not gonna do this. Trump
actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly.
It's the audacity. We can just fly in and do what we want to. As who? America is such a bully. As who? You can just fly in and do what you want to.
And so I told him, we don't want to. Spain has absolutely nothing that we need other than great people. They have great people, but they don't have great leadership. And as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they would have agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
Yeah, so that is Trump literally immediately after Spain said they don't want them, of course, on their soil to continue attacking Iran. Listen to this.
The United States from using Spanish military bases for attacks on Iran, forcing U.S. aircraft to leave the facilities in southern Spain. Spain's government emphasized that the bases remain under Spanish control and cannot be used for offensive operations without explicit approval and adherence to international law, including the United Nations Charter. Around 15 U.S. planes, mostly refueling tankers, have been relocated to other European bases, including Germany. Spain Prime Minister said Spain would not support unilateral military action and stressed that the country's shared military facilities must operate within legal and diplomatic boundaries. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the weekend's U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran, calling them dangerous escalations that threaten regional stability. Spain's position sets it apart from other European nations. The United Kingdom has reportedly allowed U.S. use of British bases for similar operations, highlighting divisions among allies over the military response to Iran. Spanish officials stressed that the decision is not a sign of support for Iran, but a measure to ensure military operations comply with legal and diplomatic rules.
Yeah, so we're going to pick it up from there. I'm going to wait for Keith to join us so I can share a bunch of videos literally regarding that. America, how they thought they're going to win the war, but how they're losing currently. We also have the UK Prime Minister again, who came forth and confirmed, this is after them saying they don't condemn what Iran was doing. And of course, now they're back saying that they're not going to be supporting America with what they're doing. So we're going to be discussing on that. And literally also a video still regarding, because this and what we're talking about yesterday regarding with the Epstein files, there's this lady actually whose video is going viral, where she was interviewed by Tucker Carlson, her talking about how they eat human, how they drink human blood, and how they love the babies, the flesh of the babies, and all that. But before we get into it, let me share this. Being on a Wednesday, let me share a little bit of history of how the Jazz band humiliated a segregated army. Listen to this.
In 1917, the United States Army sent the Harlem Hellfighters to France with one specific order: do not let them fight. They handed them over to the French army like they were surplus equipment, thinking they were disregarding the men. But the generals made a strategic error. They checked their men for rifles, but they forgot to check their luggage. Inside was a cultural Trojan horse that would conquer Europe. These men would go on to survive 191 days of hell, longer than any other American unit. But we didn't just win the war. The Harlem Hellfighters infected Europe with Black culture. So join us today while we discuss the story of the Harlem Hellfighters. And if you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at OneMikeHistory.com. But without further ado, let's get started. To understand the Harlem Hellfighters, you need to understand the insult. When the 15th New York National Guard, later known as the Harlem Hellfighters, arrived in Spartanburg, South Carolina for training, they were met with a level of hatred that is difficult to describe. The locals spit on them. White soldiers from other units refused to salute them. The army itself was embarrassed by them. The strategy of the United States military was simple: containment. They refused to let the 369th fight alongside white American troops because they feared that they would upset the racial order. They didn't let Black officers command white troops, and they didn't allow Black men to show any bravery. So when they got to...
It's always about racism. You know, their history, majority of the time, it just, again, always goes back to racism, which is just super crazy. It's just always about just racism. It's crazy.
Europe, General Pershing did something unprecedented. He gave an entire regiment to the French army. He told the French generals, take them, use them, just don't ask for any supplies. He thought he was disregarding the Harlem Hellfighters. He thought that he was putting them in a corner where they would die quietly digging ditches until the war was over. What he didn't know is he was handing those Black men the keys to history. When the 369th was handed over, they were stripped of their American identity. The United States Army took away their Springfield rifles, they took away their American rations, and they would issue French rifles, French helmets, and French brown leather belts. Imagine the psychological warfare in that moment. You had just traveled 3,000 miles to fight for your country, and then your country says that you're not one of us. Go sit over there with the French. But by cutting them loose, the United States military accidentally freed them from American racism. The French army didn't care about Jim Crow. They were desperate for men who could shoot, and they welcomed the 369th not as Black soldiers, but as Americans. For the first time in their lives, these men were treated with military dignity, and they decided right then and there that if they were going to die, they were not going to die as laborers. They were going to die as one of the most lethal units on the Western Front. And this is the part of the story that gets glazed over, because we talk about the parades, but the 369th was sent to the front lines of the Argonne Forest. Most American units spent a few weeks on the front line before they were rotated out for rest. The 369th stayed on the front line for 191 consecutive days. That is 6 months of sleeping in the mud, eating rats, dodging mustard gas without relief.
Damn, crazy, eating rats.
The United States military refused to send replaces, and they left them over there to break. But they evolved. They became experts in trench raiding. At night, armed only with knives and French grenades, they would slip across the no man's land to terrorize German lines. They were so quiet and so deadly that the Germans gave them a name and it stuck. They didn't call them the 15th New York, they called them Hellfighters. And during that 191 days, they didn't lose any prisoners and they never lost a trench because they had decided to themselves that they were never going to surrender. One of the most famous stories is Private Henry Johnson. One night while he was on watch, a German raiding party of 20 men attacked their trench. When Johnson's rifle jammed, he didn't run. He pulled out his bolo knife and he fought them hand to hand, killing 4 Germans and wounding 20 more, all the while saving his fellow soldier Needham Roberts. He became the first American to receive the Croix de Guerre, which is France's highest military honor. While the United States military was debating whether or not black men had the bravery to fight, the French government was pinning the...
Are you kidding me? Whether black men had the bravery to fight, while literally they are being used in wars even today. Look at what Russia is doing to African people. What the hell? I'm telling you, everything about these people, literally, most of their history just goes back to racism. It's crazy. It still phases me every single time. Everything just goes back to racism.
Highest military honor on their chest. Once they proved that they could fight, they unleashed the second part of this plan. Enter Lieutenant James Reese Europe. Before the war, Europe was the most famous black band leader in New York. When he joined the 369th, he told his commander that if we're going over there, we're going to be the best damn band in the Army. And he didn't just recruit soldiers, he recruited talent. He went to Puerto Rico to find players. He went to Harlem to find drummers. He built a supergroup disguised as a military unit. The United States military thought that they were sending over ditch diggers. Europe knew that they were shipping over a touring act. The cultural Trojan horse opened the moment the bullets stopped firing. The 369th traveled from town to town in France. French citizens gathered expecting a traditional stiff marching band. Instead, Europe raised his baton and the band launched into the French national anthem with a jazzy beat. They mixed swing with the French national identity. The crowd exploded. It wasn't just music, it was this kinetic beat. Because these men had already earned the respect in the trenches, the French were open to black culture that they brought. They didn't just entertain, they saw the art in these black heroes. James Reese Europe executed this vibe shift in an entire country. He made blackness synonymous with cool, modern freedom in the French imagination. When the war ended in 1918, the 369th came home to a mass parade in New York. They marched down Fifth Street to the music of Europe's jazz. But the victory wasn't just a parade. It was the outpost that they left behind. Because of the 369th, France was now addicted to jazz. They were addicted to black culture. That Trojan horse had been opened and the virus had taken hold. They had created this safe haven economy. In the 1920s, when segregated America became unbearable, black artists knew that there was an escape hatch. Josephine Baker didn't go to Paris by accident. Langston Hughes didn't go there by accident. They went there because the Harlem Hellfighters had cleared this landing zone. James Reese Europe and his men had terraformed black culture in the landscape of France. They made a place where black folks could walk into a restaurant, rent an apartment, or date whoever they wanted. They didn't just fight a war for territory, they fought a war for the peace of mind, and they won, not in Alabama, but in Paris, France. In the end, we often talk about the Harlem Hellfighters as a tragedy, men who fought for a country who didn't love them back. But that misses the genius in the moment. They used the United States Army as a free ride across the Atlantic. They used the war as an audition for the world. They proved that you could endure 191 days of hell and come out dancing on the other side. The Army gave them guns, but they conquered France with the drumbeat.
Yeah, so that is the story of how the Harlem Four Fighters, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, how they became a jazz band and how they humiliated the segregated army. But it's crazy. The question of if they had the ability to fight, why the hell did you even kidnap Africans, number one, if you had the ability to do everything that you kidnapped black people from Africa to go make them do it? If you are really capable enough of even planting, everything that you made black people go through during slavery, if you are capable of doing it, why come kidnap, literally take people from the continent and take them to go help you create what you can? So go do the war too. It's crazy, the audacity, and always again going back to racism. It's super crazy. But I want to read this article as we switch very quick to now Iran's story. I started again with a video of Trump saying that they're going to cut off trade with Spain, and of course, this is because Spain said no to America for them landing in their country and trying to attack Iran through Spain, and that has led literally to America cutting ties with Spain. But as we continue, we have this article which is very interesting that I bumped into. It was talking about if America and Israel attack Iran, which is what they're doing right now, could China do the same with Taiwan next? Which is a question. We've seen actually that is China which has said that if literally maybe Iran needs help, is just one call away. Let me see if I can find that. China said that if Iran needs help, is just one call away. And let me see if I can find the article. I'm gonna share it, or maybe videos. Yeah, just one. They said just one nuclear or missile is gonna get. They said nuclear. It's gonna get rid of the entire Israel, literally. But they're saying that this article talks about the setup and how the United States becomes deeply involved in a war with Iran. Aircraft carriers move to the Persian Gulf, and military resources shift to the Middle East. America's attention is locked on one crisis, and across the Pacific, another superpower watches carefully. In geopolitics, timing is everything. Sometimes the biggest moves happen when rivals are distracted. And why Taiwan is so important literally to China, and why maybe there's a possibility of them doing the same thing that we've seen America and Israel doing to Iran. They're saying Taiwan is not just a small island, it produces the most advanced computer chips on earth. One company alone, TSMC, makes about 90% of the world's advanced semiconductors. And these chips power smartphones, AI systems, fighter jets, satellites, yeah, and military technology. Control Taiwan and you control a critical place of the globe tech economy. They're saying that China's long-term goal is it considers Taiwan part of its territory. For decades, Beijing has said reunification is inevitable, but there is one major obstacle: the United States. America maintains military alliances and security commitments around Taiwan. This creates one of the most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints in the world. And the war starts, they're saying that what happens if Iran war starts first, which of course has already started. They're saying, now imagine these consequences. Conflict begin in the Middle East. America and alliance become heavily involved with Iran. Naval fleets move. Air power shifts. Military logistic focus on one region. Strategics then ask a question. Would China see that moment as a strategic opportunity, not guarantee? But geopolitically, windows sometimes open during global distraction. Again, they're saying that Taiwan's strategic military location is Taiwan sits inside what military experts call the first island chain. This chain limits China's ability to project naval power into the Pacific. If Taiwan were controlled by China Navy gains wider Pacific access. Secondly, it uses U.S. regional military balance changes, and the key shipping roots shift. Taiwan is not only a symbolic, it's a strategic military gateway. Continues by saying that the global economic shock is that a war over Taiwan would shake the entire global economy. Semiconductor production could collapse, industry affected, including cars, smartphones, and AI technology. Also, the defense systems, and the global manufacturing. Some economic models estimate a Taiwan conflict could cost the world over $10 trillion in economic damage. This would be far bigger than a regional war. It would be a global economic earthquake. And when multiple wars collide, history shows how conflicts can spread. World War and World War One, which began with one assassination. Soon, alliances activated and multiple nations entered the war. Today, the world is even more interconnected. A Middle East war plus Taiwan conflict could pull in, where the United States, China, Russia, and NATO allies, and then we have the regional powers in Asia. And suddenly the world faces a multi-front global conflict. What could this lead to? We have why experts fear the escalation. Military analysts warn about one dangerous factor, escalation chains. They're saying if two major powers clash, allies are pulled in trade, and the trade collapses, energy prices spike up, and financial market crashes. The world economy could face a global recession, supply chain collapse, and massive market volatility, which is actually already happening. If you talk about especially the supply chain, war today does not only destroy cities, it can destabilize the entire global system. What could be lost is if multiple conflicts erupt simultaneously, the consequences could be devastating. Possible outcomes include massive economic losses, global supply shortages, financial crisis, technological disruption, and humanitarian disasters. Modern war does not only destroy battlefields, it can reshape the global the global order itself. And then the final truth about this is that the world today runs on a fragile balance. Energy flows through the Middle East, technology flows through Taiwan. If both regions ignite the same time, the consequences could reach every country on earth. That's why the government, investors, and strategic watch these regions so closely, because sometimes one conflict can change the future of the entire world. They're saying don't keep to yourself. Of course, spread this information to the masses. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think actually there could be a possibility of China maybe taking this advantage because, again, like they said, there is a distraction to America, and whatever Taiwan also holds, America literally is one of the major obstacles, right? So could maybe China also launch the same thing to Taiwan because they consider it one region and all that? Let me know literally as we get to continue. But I'm going to share a couple of videos here, still under what is currently happening. That is in Iran. Let me share a couple of videos here, then we're going to continue as we talk. Let me start with this one. Oh, I've not shared my screen.
As nuclear weapons. That does not
take out the Ayatollah.
We need to talk about Israel's nuclear capabilities. Did you know that Israel is the only country in the world that has nuclear weapons that does not confirm nor deny that they have nuclear weapons?
That's true. Of course, I do know that. Personally, I remember we checked on that and we saw literally, yeah.
It's a policy called nuclear ambiguity. And this basically allows Israel to dodge sanctions, international pressure, and the pressure to sign treaties. Did you also know that Israel stole 300 kilograms of uranium from the United States to build their nuclear program? Let's go back for a second. In the 1950s, Israel began to build their nuclear facility in secrecy. It was known as the Dimona Nuclear Research Center. And at first, they told the US that it's just a textile plant. And then later, they said it was a research reactor once they were caught. Then, when JFK becomes president in the early 1960s, he is adamant about Israel not having nuclear weapons. So he demands regular inspections at the Dimona Nuclear Research Center. And then suddenly he's assassinated. And he becomes the last US president to question Israel's nuclear program altogether. After JFK's assassination, 300 kilograms of highly enriched uranium go missing from a nuclear plant in Pennsylvania called NUMEC. And the president of NUMEC at the time is this man, Zalman Shapiro. Zalman Shapiro was a US nuclear chemist and the president of NUMEC. He was a longtime Zionist and had deep ties to Israel. FBI files and intelligence reports show that he had frequent contact with the Israeli Mossad. So you can put two and two together to figure out how 300 kilograms of highly enriched uranium left the United States and went to Israel. By the way, this cost the US taxpayer $350 million.
Wow.
This isn't the first or last time that
Taxpayers, literally Americans. This is crazy.
Israel will steal US resources and intelligence to build their nuclear program. Every US president since JFK just has turned a blind eye. And that's not the craziest part. The craziest part about Israel's nuclear capabilities is that they have a doctrine called the Samson option, which basically means that if they ever face destruction, they will use nuclear weapons as retaliation. Meaning they will take everyone down with them. After everything I told you, wouldn't it make sense for the US to go after Israel to bring an end to their nuclear program? No. Instead, the US is starting a war with Iran because of their nuclear capabilities. But really, they're starting this war on behalf of Israel because this is the new world order. This is the transfer of power. Our country is being hijacked. And every single president since JFK that turned a blind eye to Israel's nuclear capabilities was complicit. There is no more time to fuck around. We've ran out of time. We are now at the moment where our country is being hijacked. We
take out the Ayatollah, take out the top leadership, and that would be it. That Iran would be begging for a ceasefire and willing to sign whatever deal Trump puts in.
Sorry, I'm here. Shit.
That's what
I
Trump
must be really late.
expected to happen. And in fact, the reporting is that Trump already reached.
Let me repeat this video.
We need to talk about Israel's nuclear capabilities. Did you know that Israel is the only country in the world that has nuclear weapons that does not confirm nor deny that they have nuclear weapons? It's a policy called nuclear ambiguity. And this basically allows Israel to dodge sanctions, international pressure, and the pressure to sign treaties. Did you also know that Israel stole 300 kilograms of uranium from the United States to build their nuclear program? Let's go back for a second. In the 1950s, Israel began to build their nuclear facility in secrecy. It was known as the Dimona Nuclear Research Center. And at first, they told the US that it's just a textile plant. And then later, they said it was a research reactor once they were caught. Then, when JFK becomes president in the early 1960s, he is adamant about Israel not having nuclear weapons. So he demands regular inspections at the Dimona Nuclear Research Center. And then suddenly he's assassinated. And he becomes the last US president to question Israel's nuclear program altogether. After JFK's assassination, 300 kilograms of highly enriched uranium go missing from a nuclear plant in Pennsylvania called NUMEC. And the president of NUMEC at the time is this man, Zalman Shapiro. Zalman Shapiro was a US nuclear chemist and the president of NUMEC. He was a longtime Zionist and had deep ties to Israel. FBI files and intelligence reports show that he had frequent contact with the Israeli Mossad. So you can put two and two together to figure out how 300 kilograms of highly enriched uranium left the United States and went to Israel. By the way, this cost the US taxpayer $350 million. This isn't the first or last time that Israel will steal US resources and intelligence to build their nuclear program. Every US president since JFK just has turned a blind eye. And that's not the craziest part. The craziest part about Israel's nuclear capabilities is that they have a doctrine called the Samson option, which basically means that if they ever face destruction, they will use nuclear weapons as retaliation, meaning they will take everyone down with them. After everything I told you, wouldn't it make sense for the US to go after Israel to bring an end to their nuclear program? No. Instead, the US is starting a war with Iran because of their nuclear capabilities. But really, they're starting this war on behalf of Israel because this is the new world order. This is the transfer of power. Our country is being hijacked. And every single president since JFK that turned a blind eye to Israel's nuclear capabilities was complicit. There is no more time to fuck around. We've ran out of time. We are now at the moment where our country is being hijacked.
Take out the Ayatollah.
I hope Iran literally hits the Israel nuclear base because the hell.
Take out the top leadership, and that would be it. That Iran would be begging for a ceasefire and willing to sign whatever deal Trump puts in front of them. That's what Trump expected to happen. And in fact, the reporting is that Trump already reached out to Iran asking if they want a ceasefire. And they told him to go fuck himself, that they will not surrender. And there is no indication that they have any intention of surrendering. And now Trump is scrambling. Now Trump is scared. Now Trump is desperate. This is not what he had planned. He had planned to launch a few missiles and then declare victory. He thought this was going to be over already. And he thought that he would be celebrated as, a great military genius. That is not happening. And because the American people are already against this war, and he is losing MAGA. Not all of them, of course, because most of them don't really care about anything. They said they were all against war. They were voting for Trump to keep us out of future wars, but they didn't really mean it, just like they don't really mean anything that they say. And they will follow Trump however he flips and flops, no matter what he says, no matter what he does. But not all of them. And there are many people who voted for Trump who are turning on Trump over this. And they are furious. Many of them are furious. And understand, a lot of people who voted for Trump this last time, they've not been hardcore MAGA for the last 10 years. He got a lot of people to vote for him precisely because he was anti-war. He's lost those people. Those people have not been wrapped up in the cult for a decade. They voted for him to keep us out of wars. He's not. They're not following him. They're abandoning him. And many people who have been part.
They eat babies. That is not.
Yeah, so this is the one I was telling you guys. Literally, this lady talking about how they eat babies and quite explains the people we're really dealing with. Just warmongers, vampires, crazy.
Not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man. Because you spend life in the entertainment business.
Tucker already knows this. His family's CIA. You see that? He gets to play the goofy. I don't know what's going on. Oh, but you're freaking me out, man. Tucker's whole family is CIA. He knows. So you're not freaking him out, man. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, Jabba Rosian, that's her name.
So I think you have some authority on this.
That's Roseanne Barr, this racist ass bitch, right? This racist ass no good broad here, right? She's a cat with the hat. Remember, she's one of the cat with the hats as well. This no good racist bitch here. Talking about, man, they just let her open her mouth. She's one of them too. You forget she's one and she's racist as this old racist ass fucking white hag here. This old white hag. Remember, they had to finally fire her for saying racist shit on her show when they revamped that goofy show, the Roseanne show, Roseanne Barr, whatever that goofy show was called. And she was caught saying racist shit. She been saying racist shit. But that time they supposed to have a quote black woman, you know, she owned shit as the CEO of I'm gonna have Joe look this up. What she said of ABC, the ABC network. They don't fired her black ass. You know, Jay's owner, but they let her be the CEO. And you know, say put this in the thing for TikTok, Joe. Say Roseanne Barr gets fired from show for being racist. You know, like they'll try to make you believe somebody's good. They do be you messing with kids and drinking their blood. Shut your racist blood drinking ass up too.
So many kids that I was in mental institutions with over the years, they are all from those
She's
cults. And
nutty
they
as
covered it all up. They covered it
nutty
all
as
up.
catfish.
And, you know, I just pray to God. I'm just going to pray to God that he opens everybody's eyes in this country. By the time we go into vote for Trump, that he will open up everybody's eyes and they will stop.
That pause. See what I told you? Vote for Trump has been fucking kids in the Epstein file. She knows that. See, now she's going to disclaim it. See, I told you, there's always a scam with these people. That we go vote for Trump and Trump for stuff, even though Trump's dick been on these kids' asses, Epstein file, raping kids. Trump already gave, had 3 settlements in the 90s for raping children. In the 1990s. 3 children he done raped and had to give out goddamn settlements to. She don't know that? We hope we put in Trump and everybody in Trump administration is all in the Epstein file. What the fuck is she talking about? I told you. They play both sides. Fucking crazy talk. Go ahead, Joe.
They were looking at Roseanne Barr's racist tweet about former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. So just to set the scene, the year was 2018. Roseanne was in the midst of one of the biggest comebacks in comeback history with the reboot of her popular 90s sitcom Roseanne. The 10th season
remember she got fired for being racist. So now they let her sit out. They always bring them back. They let people forget about this old hag and try to bring her back, and she couldn't keep her racist ass mouth shut. Go ahead, Joe.
March of 2018 on ABC and was very well received. The premiere was watched by a whopping 18.4 million viewers. The show was well received by critics and audiences alike, and just a few days after its premiere, it was renewed for another season. One night in May of 2018, Roseanne tweets the following. I'll let you pause to read. I mean, it's racist on multiple fronts. Clearly, the intrusive thoughts won that night, because Roseanne woke up the next day to one hell of a backlash. Her tweets were condemned by many, including her co-star, Sarah Gilbert. Roseanne would later go on to blame Sarah Gilbert's tweet for the reason why the show was canceled and not her own tweet. And consulting producer Wanda Sykes also left the show after Roseanne's tweet. Roseanne later deleted the tweet and apologized, but blamed it on being under the influence of Ambien, to which the makers of Ambien tweeted the following in response. Within hours, ABC canceled her show, but there was a little bit more going on behind the scenes. You see, I just happened to read Bob Iger's book, The Ride of a Lifetime, and he talks about this whole incident in his book. From the get-go, they were concerned about Roseanne's Twitter use because Roseanne was known for tweeting all kinds of, crack shit nonsense. And this did worry the executives at ABC. However,
Pause it. All kind of nonsense like black people are bad, black people stink, black people are retarded, black people were put here to be slaves. Remember, that's what the cats that has believe. That's in their goofy book. Black people, she would say, talk about black people, we're here to be our slaves. And they're supposed to be doing what we tell them to do. You know? But see, You can say all kind of crazy shit about black people. You have no power globally, and they'll just let you just run your fucking filthy ass mouth. And that's why Tucker like she don't. Tucker don't know she would remember. Tucker Carlson's just as racist as that old bad is. Oh, you're freaking me out, man. Oh, you're freaking me out. Both of these two motherfuckers is wicked. You're freaking me out, man. Go ahead, Joe.
They didn't want to include a Twitter clause in her contract, and because they did it, they really couldn't censor her use of Twitter. But at one point, her own son tried to take away her password, and Bob Iger himself warned her about her use of Twitter and to maybe not use it so much. But when the tweet came out, Bob Iger met with his board, and while they discussed different options for how to deal with this situation, Bob Iger was the one who said, we know what the right thing to do in this situation is. He personally reached out to Valerie Jarrett to apologize and to let her know what was about to be announced in the press about her show's cancellation. And 15 minutes later,
they never canceled the show. They kept the goofy show going because, white people love that racism. They fired her, right? And they kept the show going. They had all these petitions. Oh, Roseanne didn't know what she was saying. She's racist, yes, but we love her being racist on the show. They all petitioned to bring this old hag back on, right? This old hag, right? This old hag with a rotten ass mouth and a fucked up smell. This old hag, right? So don't ever see they put these things on social media because you think they know most of y'all won't know her backstory and that she's fighting against the people that are eating people and drinking blood. She's one of them motherfuckers doing it herself. Okay, this wicked motherfucker. You go back to her in the 90s, she was doing all kind of ratchet, vile shit, and now she's supposedly the person of virtue we're supposed to listen to. She's now the bearer of virtue. Say, nobody eating babies? Yeah, bitch, you ate one. You know what they do? They drink the blood? Yeah, bitch, you've been drinking blood. Yeah, we know what they do, because you've been doing it. Your wretched ass. They want to talk about being justice, but justice don't never stop them from being racist. Ain't it funny? It was, we're going to stop to save the world. But even though we save the world, fuck the niggas. Fuck black people and fuck them. It was got one problem. Fuck the niggas is always in there. Fuck the niggas. Go ahead, Joe.
And was canceled. This has to be one of the biggest falls from grace anyone has ever seen. Following this whole incident, Roseanne retreated from the spotlight for many years until this year with the release of her comedy special on Fox Nation. But what do you think? Did she cross the line? I mean,
she crossed the line? Of course not. She didn't cross the line because she's white. And should she get her show back? Should we let her have her show back and get her millions of dollars back? She only said fuck niggas and niggas stink. What's the big deal about that? We know these niggas are must stink. What's the big deal about that? and they're stupid. We know that. Why can't everybody knows it? Why can't we say it?
This one, she clearly did. Here's why this situation is a little different from some of the other examples in this series. She crossed her employer's line, and that is the line that comedians need to worry about. This is different than digging up a comedian's old tweets, especially if you're digging up these old tweets from a time.
Remember, all these racists get to say they're comedians. She's never been funny, ever. They all these washed up comedians. They said they call him comedians like Crowder. He's a comedian. All these right-wing motherfuckers who are not funny are comedians, right? You got that Crowder motherfucker says crazy shit about black people. That other dude supposed to be a comedian. That Dice dude they're all supposed to be comedians, but they're not funny, and they can't get a job being a comedian. They're always just anti-black. I'm just making jokes. I'm a comedian. When I say fuck the niggas and they stink, I'm a comedian.
Wasn't employed by a major network or even had a big following. This was Roseanne in the present. So we can't say that, she's evolving as a human being when this is something that we witnessed happening in real time. Plus, if her tweet was a joke, even a bad joke, I mean, I disagree. It's not a joke at all.
Told you it's a joke. Told you. It's always told you. They're always joking. Remember, that's how Jim Crow started, with jokes. Hanging niggas is all. These are jokes. That we kill black people, hang them, and eat them. These are just jokes. Remember, that's how they did Jim Crow. These are just jokes where we show niggas all fucked up and bummy and looking crazy. These are just jokes. And they're not even funny jokes because they're not comedians. They get this white people take, oh, this is a comedian. These jokes that they say about black people, those are just jokes. Who the fuck is laughing at it? Nobody, because they ain't funny. It's the feel-good white people shit. They call black people all kind of offensive, foul-ass names. That's what it is. This is joke. And if they're trying to revive her ass, she's talking about the Illuminati and what's going on with the babies. Sucker, they eat people and they drink their blood. I'm not crazy because I did it too. Oh, you're freaking me out, man. You're freaking me out. This is so fucking phony. Tucker CIA. This bitch is a cat with the hat that they let come back over and over again. Saying all kind of vile-ass racist shit. She's fighting justice, but she just can't stop saying fuck niggas. Yeah. She's fighting for justice in the world and humanity, but she just can't bring herself to say fuck these niggas.
Poorly structured, especially coming from someone that I would once describe as a world-class comedian. I mean, Roseanne Barr was one of
she was a world-class comedian, this old wretched-ass hag. A world-class comedian. Let's ask Joby. Joby, you ever heard of Roseanne Barr and her comedic style?
No, I've just seen that video.
She's not. Somebody knows this lady sitting there talking crazy was even a comedian. No, she's not a world-class comedian because the world don't know this bitch.
Exactly. Oh my God, you're so brutal. But anyway, we're back to Iran. Let's leave Roseanne Barr alone and racist behavior. Let me share these videos that I queued as we continue with today's topic.
It's the funniest shit, literally, that I've heard all day. The United States military vessels that were responsible for abducting Maduro and forcing the blockade against Venezuela and will be necessary to lead strikes against Iran are completely out of commission. And at first the story goes that it's like, oh, well, the sewage system is just too delicate and they don't have enough toilets for thousands of crew members. So average wait times to go shit are like 45 minutes every single time, every single day. But then you get further into the story and the people who are fixing the toilets are revealing that actually sailors are putting t-shirts and other irresponsible materials into the sewage system deliberately to mess it up to prevent World War III. I'm just beside myself. It's so genius. No one can figure out who specifically is
giving Hong Kong coffin houses.
Preventing World War III from happening by messing with a very delicate and poorly engineered sewage system on a multi-billion-dollar warship. They can't prove anyone's guilt. All they can do is pause operations. Oh, God, it's so funny. This is...
You want to know what's crazy?
I wanted to start out by asking you your assessment of the ongoing conflict between Iran and U.S.-Israel.
Well, first of all, it's a conflict that never should have happened, but was, I guess, inevitable that it would happen. This is more than just a repetition of the 12-day war. This is an existential war of survival, and the stakes are as high as they can be. There will only be one winner in this war. And as I look at things right now, Iran looks as though it's on the inside track to win this war. This means that the United States will be defeated, humiliated, and compelled to retreat from the Middle East.
Well, but that's not what they're saying. So I'm going to stop at that, literally, where he's saying the United States is going to be defeated, humiliated, because just this evening we had reports of, let me get that correctly, the CENTCOM. That is over 50,000 US troops have been deployed to Iran. That is deployed against Iran. So let me share this video of what this guy is saying.
But let me say something real quick.
Okay.
So they're saying at least 500 to 600 Americans have died. They're hiding them. You got to go to other sources. Sad enough, you can't get in America because they're hiding the shit. And then also, when I was saying, you had crazy ass Marco Rubio, who was I never voted for, who was the senator of Florida, and now he's the head of the State Department. He's the Secretary of State. Admit, people now ask, why'd you go in this war? We didn't need this war. Say, well, we did it for Israel. Because remember, everybody up top is stupid. Trump is a moron. Everybody around his cabinet is dumb. That's how it happens when you get corruption. You don't get credible people anymore. Because America is so corrupt that the people that lead it, they're already caught with Epstein and vile shit they've done to children, that they're pedophiles, but they're also little morons. Trump is an idiot. Marco Rubio is an idiot. So he didn't know not to say, Israel told us that we did with Israel. Now he come back and said, no, it was imminent threat because they had a nuclear bomb and a nuclear bomb. All the lies they can't get the lies right. At least 25 years ago when we had Baby Bush in there, he was a moron. He had people around him that were intelligent, like Dick. They were evil. Don't get me wrong, they were evil, but they were at least intelligent evil motherfuckers. The motherfuckers around Trump are stupid and evil. That's how far the country is falling. People around Trump are stupid and evil. People around Bush were smart and evil. Evil. Like your Dick Cheney. Now you knew Dick Cheney wasn't a moron, but you did know he was evil. People around Baby Bush was smart. They just was evil. Because they all evil, but the people around Trump are stupid and evil. They're stupid. Now they're trying to, you got Hegseth, the goddamn Secretary of Defense. They're going to change that back to defense. Not no Secretary of War. They want to come and change names and shit. It's now the War Department. It's a goddamn Defense Department. These morons want to come and change names and do goofy shit. So you got Hegseth, who's a moron. Trump argument. These are idiots. And you got the generals like, how the fuck are we supposed to be listening to these morons in this system? Because, Pete Hegseth could never even be a goddamn, let alone a major in the military, let alone now he's the head of the military. These people are fucking idiots. Because remember when Joby showed Hegseth and them gave that speech and the generals didn't even stand up for the motherfuckers. Everybody got mad because the generals knew they'd been dealing with lunatics. Trump was a moron, Hegseth was a moron, and the generals just sat there looking like, God damn. And they refused to stand up for these two motherfuckers. And Trump got mad and started firing them and shit because the military refused to stand up for these two idiots. But Hegseth and Trump, when they made that crazy speech last year, they like, and none of the military stood up. Like, what? These motherfuckers are absolutely fucking batshit crazy. And Trump started firing them and shit because they wouldn't stand up for Trump or Hegseth. Now we've been ruled by morons. It shouldn't have won the damn, and it's got to end badly for America because the white people are stupid too. The white people are evil. That's why these guys are in power. They put race and evil, like that white guy told. It's a bloodlust. And most people don't understand what you're doing when you're dealing with Caucasians. The bloodlust is real. They enjoying people getting blown up and shit. They go, they don't get upset about them eating babies and all that. No, they're not. They like all this shit about conquest as long as it keeps them on top. They believe in white supremacy. You don't understand the psyche of white people. They believe in white power, white dominance, white supremacy. They believe in that shit more than anything. You see what Joby showed you about the dude who killed his own daughter in Texas because she said something against Trump? He went back in the room and shot her ass in the head. And he got off. And he was in Texas. What they say? Well, was it act? He purposely shot this. We're going to go, after Joby showed us, we're going to go to that video again. He purposely shot his own daughter in the head. How dare you go against white supremacy? He told her, I got two more of the daughters. They'll replace your ass. Because I told you, white supremacy comes first. amongst anything with white people. Their power and their dominance comes first. Fuck their children. That don't come first. Their power and their dominance comes first at all costs. You went back in the room, got the gun. Remember, because she was visiting from England. I died. I came to see you in Texas. He said, Trump shouldn't be doing what he's doing. Trump is in the Epstein files. You shut your raggedy mouth talking about my Trump. He's in the Epstein files, fucking babies and eating them. I don't care nothing about that. Get your ass out of my house. Talking that shit. He said, come back in the bedroom. We're back in the bedroom and shot her in the head. He just said, well, the weapon.
Let me share this one.
Good afternoon. I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of United States Central Command. In this capacity, I lead U.S. military forces in the Middle East. I'm here to provide you an update on Operation Epic Fury, now in our 4th day of execution. First, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the families and teammates of the extraordinary Americans who've been killed in action. And I'd also like to extend our prayers for a speedy recovery to the wounded. Yesterday, you heard from Secretary Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Today, I'd like to give you an operational update on where we are and provide you with some key facts. By order of the President of the United States and the Secretary of War, our military in the Middle East is undertaking an unprecedented operation to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans, as they've been doing for nearly half a century. Having spent more than 36 years in the military, I could not be prouder of America's sons and daughters in uniform who are answering the call. More than 50,000 troops, 200 fighters, 2 aircraft carriers, and bombers from the United States are participating in this operation, and more capability is on the way. These forces bring a massive amount of firepower, representing the largest buildup by the U.S. in the Middle East in a generation. In the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury, U.S. Central Command forces, together with Israel, delivered overwhelming and unprecedented strikes into Iran. Many of you may remember the shock and awe strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were nearly double the scale, and we continue with 24/7 strikes into Iran from seabed to space and cyberspace. Now, we're less than 100 hours into this operation, and we've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions. We have severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones. And in simple terms, we're focused on shooting all the things that can shoot.
And pause it, and pause it, and let me explain some. How our military budget, because it's corrupt, it's a grip, it's a major grip. So we got the biggest budget in the motherfucking world, but our equipment is fucked up, right? So that means this is nothing more than money laundering for companies to get taxpayers' money. So they just steal the money instead of building good equipment. And that's why this budget keeps going up and up and up. So they're paying out their friends who own these military corporations, who are all mostly you know they are, cats with motherfucking hats. So they're getting $1 trillion a year. Trillions. And he wants to make $1.5 trillion a year. So they're just stealing the money. They're not actually building anything worth any goddamn that can say it's worth $1.5 trillion fucking dollars. It's a money laundering scam for the cats with the hats, right? And since they control all the media, all your goddamn Congress people, it never stops, because you try to say what happens, they'll destroy you in the media. And people are stupid. They believe, hey, the news said you're a bad guy. Let's vote you out of office because you're going against the cats with the hats. That's how bad it is. And I told you, there's a new study that came out, I think it was earlier this year, that America's one of the dumbest countries on the planet. I knew that. One of them dumbest motherfucking countries on the planet is America. Dumbest. With a capital D. So, misinformation and scams and lying. And when they talking about them, they're talking about white people. They're the majority. They're always fooled because their racism comes first. I'm sure. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to play this out here. I want you to go where that Texas guy shot his daughter. Go ahead.
Okay.
Our B-2 bombers and B-1 bombers have executed uncontested surgical strikes against multiple missile facilities deep inside Iran. And then just last night, a B-52 bomber force struck ballistic missile and command and control posts. We are also sinking the Iranian Navy. the entire Navy.
You did that.
Thus
Of course
far,
you can
we
do that.
destroyed 17.
They don't got no real Navy. There's no Navy that go against our Navy. We get all that. But it's not sustainable because you don't have the ammunition. And so, like Joby showed you, all those missiles are in the mountains buried. And they told you, they came out and said, we've been building this shit for 40 fucking years. Because we knew these savages were coming. Exactly. You know, they knew these savages would eventually come. So they got underground cities, millions of bombs, cities of bombs, hundreds of miles long down there. They know they can't fight no Navy and all that shit. A real war with America. When America had weapons, America would destroy Iran. But America don't got all these weapons because they gave them to Ukraine. They don't got enough. We don't got big enough manufacturing. So it's going to be called a war of attrition. A war of attrition. So what that means, all these bootlicking ass other Arab countries that have been helping America, I'm going to bomb the fuck out their ass. And remember, all these fake Arabs are all in the Epstein files. All of them. All these kings, princes, fake motherfuckers created by Britain. All these fake kings, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, whatever their fake goofy name is. You never get me called one of these motherfuckers king and prince this, house of Saud, and all that old fake ass shit. They never fought no wars, become no king or no prince. They were given that shit by the British. So Iran is gonna bomb the fuck out their ass. And then we found out, isn't it funny? We found out that the Israelis, that's what they always do, trying to blame Iran for blowing up. One thing they didn't do was brought up some of the oil fields. They were going to eventually get around to it. But the Mossad were caught in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia trying to blow up their shit. But they're supposed to be their friends because they want boots on the ground. They want these Arabs to have boots on the ground and help invade. Because they know without an invasion, with boots on the ground, you're not going to never take over Iran. Now you'll blow shit all up. Of course, you'll fuck it all up. But you still will never take it over. Now, without boots on the ground, you won't. People running up in there and fighting hand to hand. Now, of course, from the air, you'll fuck it up. You'll fuck Iran all up. But you'll never get the missiles coming out their mountains. You can bomb mountains all damn day. You ain't getting close to them missiles. They'll keep bombing you. So while you're trying to bomb my missiles in this mountain, I'm going to keep fucking you up. And that's what's going to happen. Because it's going to make America and Israel, and I'm going to bomb Israel back in the Stone Age. Israel won't exist when I get done with that motherfucker. It will cease to exist. They're all in there. Oh, look at Iran's doing. They're killing the kids. All these motherfuckers, these wicked bastards, and killed all these Palestinians, stole people homes. Your fake propaganda doesn't work anymore, no matter how much shit you own. When propaganda don't work, oh, look at us. Well, they always want to play the victim after they done murdered people. Shit is crazy. These people are just psychopaths. Look what Iran is doing. Look at Iran. Look at them kill some of our kids. Didn't you invade them? Well, they wasn't doing shit to you and kill their babies at school and shit? Yeah, but fuck them. We're not supposed to be worried about them. What about us? You're not supposed to be able to start killing us. That's the mind of these psychopaths. It's fucking crazy. So, yeah. Can Iran win a real war with America? Of course not. But it can win a war of attrition because that shit's in the mountains, baby. You can't get to it. They bombing it now. They gonna tell the truth. They bombing the fuck out of Iran. There's no doubt. Iran can't do nothing about that. Just duck and cover, motherfucker. Don't be outside trying to go get a Fanta. You might get blown the fuck up. Don't go try to get you a Fanta. Go ahead, Joe.
Iranian submarine that now has a hole in its side. For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today,
that was a lie.
There's not a single Iranian ship.
See, this all a lie. Because they're evil. This is them taking over the world. They try Iran is do this. Iran ain't done shit. Who's Iran invaded and plays war against? Oh, nobody. Who has America done over and over? Israel over and 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 over. There hasn't been a decade. America's not invaded and bombed and killed motherfuckers in the last 200 years. Go ahead,
Region again tonight. Tonight, the US death toll rising as the war against Iran escalates. The Pentagon now confirming 6 American service members have been killed after an Iranian attack.
It's only, see, they're saying 6. It's almost 1,000 Americans have been killed by Iran. There's a 6. They don't want you to say a number because they know you're going to get mad and go crazy over here. 6 Americans have been killed. No, it's over 1,000 now. Go ahead, Joe. 6.
Operation Center in Kuwait. At least 18 more service members have been seriously wounded in this operation, as the US now says it's sending more forces into the region. President Trump saying he's not ruling out US forces on the ground. And of the operation, he says...
Because they know now, you better not go on the ground. Told you. They know they got to go on the ground. That's why they were trying, that's why Israel was over fucking up people's shit in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and also Qatar. The Mossad were caught bombing shit and trying to blame it on Iran so they can get them to say, we got to go war, have boots on the ground against Iran. See how the scam always works? See how the scam works? Because they know without boots on the ground, because you got to get boots on the ground to get to them motherfucking mountains. Got to get boots to the ground. Got to get boots on the ground to get to them fucking mountains. Yeah. Because you can't just be running around, you blowing up a bunch of shit. Yeah, of course. But you can't stop that shit in the mountain coming out and blowing your ass up.
In his initial words after the attack, the president talking about regime change, but during his first public comments at the White House today, offering this rationale for attacking Iran.
An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles.
Yeah, regime change. They get the right to decide who's going to be regime change. What the fuck are you talking about? Iran didn't do nothing. You've been the one killing people. America is the biggest terrorist state on the planet because it was controlled by the is not real motherfuckers who are terrorists. The Rothschilds are terrorists. Understand that? Rothschilds, these motherfuckers are wicked, evil, psychopathic, cannibalistic pedophiles. That's who runs this fucking world. Trump is nothing but a lapdog puppet. Do what he's told to do. Why he shits on himself while he's getting this damn interview. Got doo-doo all on his ass. He can't hold his... Everywhere he goes, he smells like shit. Good. But white people know that, he's our leader, Trump. Trump is Jesus. Because white supremacy is the name of the game. Good.
Tolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people, our country itself.
American people.
And late today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the evolving message now saying Israel is about to attack Iran and that the US
the evolving message is evolving because they're lying. Because remember, they're stupid. Marco Rubio's a moron. The Jews put him in power in Florida. He's an idiot. That's what they want. He's a moron. So he didn't know he didn't understand message discipline. If you're gonna lie, stupid, you got to stick to one lie. That's called message discipline. You can't change the lie and then people know you're lying. You got to stick to message discipline, you moron. But he's too stupid to know that. Then they got him. You just said it's an imminent threat. You just said Israel made us go. But that ain't an imminent threat to know America. Oh, But now Iran has got missiles. He had missiles, though. Yeah. We had to go. We had to go do it. This is a bunch of morons.
Act to defend itself from Iran's potential retaliation.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that Iran was a threat.
They got an imminent threat because they know what it is illegal. Because if the Congress was not controlled by the cats, what they did, they don't got the right to wage war on nobody. Only Congress does, according to the Constitution. They can say, it's an immediate threat. We couldn't wait on Congress. It was an immediate threat. It was an immediate threat. Iran was going to attack. Iran was going to attack nobody. They ain't attacked nobody. So they got to use that immediate threat. Because first he said Israel, that's all we got on here. It's called stupid, you dumb motherfucker. You don't say Israel told you to go. You get your ass back in front of me to say immediate threat, you fucking moron. Yeah, it's an immediate threat. It's an immediate threat. It's an immediate threat. Yeah, that's it. That's an immediate threat. He's a fucking, can't believe these morons are running the country. This is like some Africa shit here. These motherfuckers are too stupid to be working at the goddamn local KFC. These motherfuckers are stupid. And it's visibly so. And everybody's saying it. It's visibly that this month, but I've been saying should have been, this is a moron. Controlled by the Zionists, put in power by the Zionists. This is a bootlicking moron. He's an idiot. And so they're saying this because they know this whole action is criminal. It's criminal. According to the international law, it's criminal. According to our Constitution of America, this is illegal. This is criminal. But where's the UN? Nowhere. In America, where's the Congress? Nowhere. Congress is supposed to already, the next day, put letters of impeachment in on Donald Trump raggedy ass. If you had a Congress not controlled by the cats with the motherfucking hats, which we know they are. Everybody knows they are. Hell, everybody outside the country knows the cats control America and its government. That's a fact. They know the cats control your media, cats control Hollywood, all of it. Cats control all your fucking social media platforms. If they don't, they go crazy and say, we gotta get that shit. Gotta be ours. So we can make the narrative. Huh? So this moron is getting shit wrong when he first got it. Yeah, we had to go because Israel told us to go. What? What? People go, you know that's a crime? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no. That ain't what I meant to say. It was an imminent threat. You fucking moron. Go ahead, Joe.
Attacked, and we believe they would be attacked. That they would immediately come after us.
We believe they would be attacked. We're not going to sit. Everything he said is illegal. There is no justification for this war. See, he's talking crazy talk. When we not going to sit and believe that somebody might attack us, then we're going to attack them. This is crazy talk. There's no justification for this.
Before we responded. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions and understood what that would mean for us.
The president warning the U.S. military operation could last several weeks, but signaling it could go.
Pause again. And the military command is asking lawyers, can we now disobey these morons? Can we legal? Because these orders they're given are illegal. So we got the military brass in America going to the lawyer and say, can we deny these dumb motherfuckers? Because we know what they're doing is illegal. And if later on, we're going to get caught up for following orders that are legal. And remember, through Nuremberg, you can't say, when you're about to get prosecuted, you can't say, I was just following orders. Well, you know these orders were legal, right? You know these orders were legal, right? That doesn't absolve you from the criminality. You knew these orders you were given were illegal, right? So you don't get to say, I was just following orders from the president and the Secretary of State. That ain't gonna work, gonna lock your ass up. So the military is asking the lawyers, hey, can we stop? Can we deny these two fucking morons? And don't do their orders because they're illegal. Will we be court-martialed? Can we deny their orders because they're illegal? And that's in the damn universal code of justice in the military. Universal code of justice tells you right there, any unlawful order given by the president or anybody, you are to deny it. You are to deny it. You just say, fuck no, this is illegal. I can't be invading no fucking Iran and killing innocent women and children. You're supposed to deny it. It's right there in the Universal Code of Justice, right? ICJ, wait a sec. About the military, Rick, you know what I'm talking about. If you know Rick, but that shit, the ICCJ, whatever that shit called. You know, when you're in the military, you got to read inside and you got to know the laws. Any unlawful order you're given, you will not have the right after you get prosecuted for doing illegal shit to say, hey, I was just following orders. That don't work. Because the orders you knew were fucking illegal. And you were supposed to deny them. Even if it's given by the goofy president. If his orders are illegal, you're supposed to say, no, sir. No, sir. can't take out your orders. No, sir. These orders are illegal. No, sir. No, sir.
For the time,
Go ahead, Joker.
it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always. And we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
Video posted online showing just how dangerous that mission is. A US warplane on fire, spiraling out of control. One of 3 US F-15 fighter jets.
Pause, they lied again. They tried to say it was friendly fire. We know it wasn't friendly. We know the Kuwaitis didn't shoot that shit. We know the Iranians shot them American aircraft out the fucking sky. Oh no, our friends did it by accident. What? You believe that? You're an absolute moron. Iran took out them fucking planes. And that's why when the guys got on the ground and they tell you that the pilots got killed by the Kuwaitis. They say, hey, aren't you our allies? Yeah, you the one starting the shit, got Iran bombers. And they went to fucking these pilots up. Go ahead, Joe.
Kuwait by friendly fire. The pilots
They told you,
safely ejecting.
friendly fire.
You're safe. All 6 survived. And tonight, the Pentagon releasing a detailed timeline of how the attack unfolded.
You see, they didn't show what happened to the damn pilots. They went right past that with some more propaganda. They ejected safely. Are they alive? Or did they get fucked up? Did they get fucked up or not? they ejected. Go ahead, Joe.
3:38 Eastern, Friday afternoon, President Trump giving the green light while on a visit to Texas.
The president directed, and I quote, Operation Epic Fury is approved. No aborts. Good luck, close quote.
The Pentagon saying the U.S. first knocked out Iran's defense and radar systems, crippling their ability to see, communicate, and respond. Then at 1:15 Eastern Saturday morning, 9:45 a.m.
80% of American people are against this war. 80%. Why doesn't that matter? Because your country is not controlled by you. Controlled by the cats with the motherfucking hats and the fake paper. That fake paper they move around Africa and everywhere else. That's fake fucking paper that shows your Congress people. Okay? They go against the Israeli masters, they get kicked out the Congress. See how that works? Ain't that funny? 85% of Americans don't want this war. Never wanted it. So how is he waging a war that the American people are against? Because they don't follow what the fuck you say. That's why. That's why your voting doesn't matter. So this should be a wake-up call for all you morons. Vote. Your vote ain't matter since they blew John F. Kennedy's head off. Before any of us was born. I don't know how old you are, but I don't think anybody in there was born when John F. Kennedy was president, was alive. If you were, you was a baby or some shit, right? You ain't had no vote since they blew John F. Kennedy's head off. And we know who blew his head off, the Mossad. The Israelis blew his fucking head off. Is anything done? Oh, of course not. Of course not. They just blow up a sitting president's head, blow his head off on live TV. Take this, goddammit, for your trouble. The whole motherfucking head gone. That's right. Good.
Launching major combat operations. A first wave of more than 100 warplanes sweeping in, bombing targets.
This was a daylight strike based on their trigger event conducted by the Israeli Defense Forces, enabled by the U.S. intelligence community.
That trigger event, sources say, was based on CIA and Israeli intelligence. When officials learned Iran's supreme leader...
Who created the CIA and the Mossad? Oh, the cats with the hats. Don't get it twisted. CIA was created by the cats with the motherfucking hats. Also created the Mossad. So they worked in tandem. So when they say the Mossad, they say CIA. They say CIA, say Mossad. They run around Africa fucking up shit. Okay? That's who's doing it. And when John F. Kennedy, again, when he got his head blown up, what did he say? I'm going to break the CIA's back and destroy it and get rid of it. You going to do what? What you going to do? What you going to do? He should have kept that shit secret and tried to dismantle the CIA instead of opening up his fucking mouth. You ain't dismantling shit. We're going to blow your motherfucking head off your fucking head. You're going to blow your head off your shoulders. And that's what happened to him. And he's gone, and the CIA is still here fucking up shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Ayatollah Khamenei was above ground in his office meeting with top officials Saturday morning. The timing of the attack was moved up. The CIA had been tracking the Ayatollah for months, down to his daily routine. The White House releasing images of President Trump monitoring the attack in real time from Mar-a-Lago. The president today saying the Ayatollah was having breakfast at the time of the attack and thought he was safe because it was broad daylight. Trump says 49 leaders were killed in the strike. The Ayatollah's wife reportedly among the dead.
Right, but remember, they're the terrorists. They're the evil ones. Of course, they've been tracking him. They've been tracking his whereabouts and all his movements. We're going to kill his ass. Right. Coming to see this motherfucker. Do you know this about? You know. This is Rothschild Resources. This was the Rothschilds. With the Epstein files, all that other shit. This for these motherfuckers. To get more banks and more power, more money. To get Iran shit. And to make sure Iran does what it's told to remember. All those countries are controlled by Israel in that region. They're all puppets of Israel. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Bahrain, all of them. This is the only one country that wouldn't bow down. So they've been made to bow down and told lies. They're evil. Oh, they're so bad. They're evil. They're wicked. Because they're the country that didn't fucking bow down. And so they've been made to bow down. We're going to try to break their backs. And the Iranians knew that was coming. Okay? We haven't built a military to really match America, but we will have defenses to defend ourselves. All right? And so since America is so incompetent now, they're morons, you would have known if you're going to have a war with somebody, you have enough ammunition. That's just common sense planning. You say, you know what, we shouldn't do this till 5 years from now, then we can win easily. But then, I mean, Trump won't be in power. I won't get to say I'm the greatest president. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest man. I'm the greatest. I've done this. I'm the greatest. I'm the great Trump. I love me. People love me. I'm Trump. All that crazy shit. Right. All that crazy shit. But enough of that, Joe. Once you type this in TikTok, say, American military officials seek legal advice and not following Trump's orders. Say military officials seek legal advice and not following Trump's orders. That'd be Pete Hegseth, one is stupid anyway. You know, because this whole shit is illegal. And you know the world is run by evil people, it's wicked. Nothing's run by any justice. The UN is fake. Why it doesn't really protect you? That's why you must have. That's why you notice ain't nobody attacked. They talk all that shit about North Korea because North Korea got the bomb. They talk all that shit about North Korea. They're evil. Remember, North Korea is evil too. Ain't that? North Korea is evil. Kim Jong-un is evil, and he's fucked up, and he's a savage. But they won't invade Kim Jong-un because he got that nuclear bomb waiting on their ass. That's what they have Africans better learn. You better build that fucking nuke. You better build that nuke. Go ahead, Joe.
Decades of tradition with a public letter that's sending military leaders just shattered decades of tradition with a public letter that's sending shockwaves through Washington. A group of 38 active and retired military commanders, including 7 4-star generals, have formally refused to endorse Trump's authority as commander-in-chief in a
because he's a moron. You think a general been his whole life in the military listening to Pete Hegseth and Trump, these fucking retarded morons? Now they're in charge of these fucking idiots? Trump is an idiot. Hegseth is a fucking idiot. Go ahead, Joey. Crazy.
An hour ago. This isn't some quiet private dissent or carefully worded diplomatic disagreement. This is an unprecedented public rebuke from the very people whose careers were built on the principle of never challenging civilian leadership. And the fact that they're willing to go on record means the situation inside the Pentagon has reached a breaking point that most Americans don't even realize yet. Hit that.
That stuff stays silent. You're not allowed to know that.
It's going to dominate headlines for months. And you need to understand exactly what's happening before the spin machines on both sides starts rewriting the narrative.
Yeah,
so
lying.
Extraordinary move. According to the letter obtained by multiple news organizations at 3:47 p.m. Eastern Time today, these military leaders cite a pattern of decisions over the past 14 months, that they claim subordinate national security to political objectives,
Don't make
undermine
sense.
military readiness, and violate the fundamental compact between civilian leadership and the armed forces.
So then pause
The
it, pause
letter
it. So let me pause it. Now let me make this plain English. They're saying these motherfuckers are morons. They shouldn't be running. They shouldn't be had no power, no military. They've never been in the military. These motherfuckers are idiots. They don't listen to what we tell them, and they're stupid. These are stupid people. They shouldn't be in power to run no military to kill people. These are morons. Oh, Joey.
References 3 incidents. First, the abrupt withdrawal order from a critical Middle East intelligence post in October, without consulting theater. Commanders reportedly issued hours after a campaign rally where Trump criticized the deployment. Second, the delayed authorization for a NATO joint training exercise in January that multiple sources say was held up because the commanding admiral had previously testified to Congress about budget shortfalls. And third, the most damning allegation, a directive from February 9th, instructing the Joint Chiefs to postpone emergency equipment shipments to a forward operating base until certain generals agreed to appear at a White House event celebrating military strength. This isn't about policy disagreements or standard civil military friction. This is about using operational command as leverage for political theater. And that's a line these officers are saying can never be crossed. Smash that like button if you're starting to see why this matters so much. Here's the full context of what's been building. Tensions between Trump and senior military leadership have been simmering since his first term, fueled by disagreements over
They said he's an idiot.
Clashes with Pentagon officials over budget priorities, and repeated public criticisms of generals who didn't show sufficient personal loyalty. But everything changed, according to sources close to the Joint Chiefs, when a classified directive was leaked on February 11th to the Senate Armed Services Committee, showing direct White House interference with time-sensitive operational decisions. The directive, dated February 9th and allegedly bearing Trump's personal signature, reportedly orders a 72-hour delay on critical resupply authorizations for a base-facing imminent threat assessment until 3 specific 4-star commanders agree to participate in a televised round praising administration defense policies. This wasn't about legitimate policy debate or normal command structure discussion.
They're willing to get people killed so this motherfucker can look good on TV. They're supposed to be removed. You're a moron. So he can look good. This is some Africa shit. Motherfucker, you don't leave people out in the field because you want somebody to come get a photo op with your dumb ass. If you don't come get a photo of me and say I'm the greatest president, I'm gonna leave people fucked up in the field. Sound crazy as cat shit. Go ahead, Joe.
It was about holding military safety hostage for campaign
Exactly. That's what I said. Military safety. Crazy as hell. You got to go.
When members of the Senate Armed Services Committee reviewed that directive in a secure facility on February 12th, they immediately recognized this crossed every conceivable red line. Senator Michael Thornton,
he's supposed to be impeached. But the cats with the hats put him in there. They're gonna keep him because they know everything Trump do. He's supposed to have been fucking gone. If the country worked the way it's supposed to work, he's supposed to have been up out of there. This moron is dangerous. He's dangerously stupid. They must have been got his ass up out the damn office. But now when you got the people that rule that motherfucker, control everything, yeah. Shit don't be like that. Shit don't work right no more. Yeah, it don't work right. Go ahead.
And former Marine Corps officer reportedly told colleagues in the closed session that he had never seen anything like this in 40 years of military service.
Of course not. You've
and
never
that
seen
remaining
it.
silent would make them accomplices to a fundamental breach of constitutional duty. Meanwhile, Senator Patricia Chen,
he didn't do the Constitution out the window.
From California, called the directive the most egregious abuse of commander-in-chief authority in modern history. By the time that 4-hour emergency session ended, 11 senators from both parties had agreed to formally request that the Pentagon Inspector General launch an immediate investigation. But before that request could even be filed, the military leaders themselves decided they couldn't wait for official channels. They took the extraordinary step of going public. Drop a comment right now if you saw this coming. I read every single one. Now things get absolutely wild. The letter signed by 38 current and former military leaders was released at a joint press conference held at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. at 3:30 p.m. today. Standing at the podium was General Marcus Caldwell, retired four-star Army general and former Joint Chiefs Vice Chairman, flanked by Admiral Jennifer Hartley, retired Navy Thriver.
They ain't lucky that America's military institution is still working, because Trump would be cool. But our institutions are so strong militarily that they know their place when this motherfucker's breaking all kind of laws, and they want to just overthrow his ass because it's so enshrined in American people. And when they go through these institutions, as far as the military backs the president, and the civilian, the politicians, and doesn't have the right to overthrow anything. That institution is still so strong in America that you'll never get a coup in this motherfucker. Never. You get coups all these other places, even Russia, China. You'll never get a coup in America because of, I don't know if it's been propaganda or the institution is just that strong. The institution is built so you'll never have one person ever in the military have enough power to create a coup in America ever. Ever. And you guys don't been in the military. You know that shit is never heard of you. That shit like some science fiction shit. You'll never get a coup in America. Ever. Ever. Go ahead, Joe.
Pacific Fleet, and Lieutenant General Robert Hayes, retired Marine Corps officer, who led forces in 3 combat theaters. General Caldwell, his voice steady, but his jaw visibly tight. Read the letter's opening statement. We, the undersigned, have devoted our lives to defending this nation and upholding the Constitution. We have served under presidents from both parties, and we have never publicly questioned civilian leadership, but we cannot remain silent when operational decisions that affect the safety of American service members are subordinated to political.
I need you to understand how serious it is that members of the military are looking for outside legal counsel right now. If you are a member of the military, or you're somebody who is, please share, like, and save this. You're going to want to come back to it because according to a PBS report, that's exactly what's happening. They're reporting that the number of calls from active duty military are surging to a group called the Order Project. It is a nonpartisan group that helps to assist our military members understand what their options are should they receive an illegal order. And when in American history have numbers of American military members had to worry about receiving illegal orders?
Never.
Well, not very often. And the numbers, according to this PBS report, are surging. There are even members of the National Guard reaching out to a hotline, asking questions about what they should do since they're being deployed to our cities. This is very, very concerning. And I want you to keep an eye on what is going on near Venezuela and in the Southern Caribbean for the entirety of the next 7 days. The Gerald Ford Carrier Strike Group is now in position off the coast of Venezuela in the Southern Caribbean. And I believe it was just yesterday that President Trump said he's pretty much made up his mind on what he's going to do. I would keep an eye on this, but it's good news and bad news, I suppose, that members of the military are reaching out for guidance. I mean, personally, I'm glad they want to know what their options are, but I'm extremely concerned that a large number of them are afraid they're going to get an illegal order. And honestly, you should be too.
Did y'all hear that PBS is reporting that U.S. service members are seeking legal representation or legal advice, rather? Oh, you didn't? Come on in here while I finish my inventory. So PBS is actually reporting that U.S. service members are actively seeking outside legal advice about the lawfulness of military missions being ordered by the Trump administration. An extraordinary and extremely rare signal that something is wrong. You think something's wrong? I digress. Hold on just a minute. So what these service members are actually seeking legal advice is about Operation Southern Spear, the Border and Maritime Initiative that Pete Hegseth is pushing aggressively.
Hegseth is moron.
The Department of Justice sources say senior officials have privately communicated that service members involved in, quote, boat strike interdiction operations would not face future legal liability. Now that stance is raising even more questions inside the ranks, not fewer. Interesting. So what we know is this isn't normal, right? So that's number one. Here's the other thing. Orders may conflict with domestic or international law. Yeah, so that's a question that's definitely been coming up, is that this is actually violating international law. It could be
Yeah, I said
prosecuted in the future for carrying out unlawful.
constitutional law and international law. And you don't get to say, you know what, I was just following orders. Well, you didn't know the law? Don't give a fuck who gave it to you. Don't give Donald Trump, headset, goddamn Jesus Christ, or Allah gave it to you. The law is clear. And we're going to lock your ass up for following these orders.
Directives. See, that's where we have to be careful with the things that are currently happening right now. When you make a decision on whether or not you want to join, and you getting excited about what's happening to people in this country and in other countries because of decisions that are being made from the people that are in the current leadership right now, you have to be careful because you could be implicated. First of all, it's wrong, right? That's first. Let's put that on the table. But you will not be immune. You will not be. Civilian leadership is operating outside of constitutional authority. The fact that this is occurring before the operation has fully scaled just suggests a brewing crisis between the White House and the Pentagon. Okay, so here's a couple things. Operation Southern Spear includes controversial maritime and border enforcement tactics that legal scholars say may violate a couple of things: posse comitatus, international maritime law, longstanding restrictions on the military's role in civilian law enforcement. The Department of Justice's unusual assurance about no future liabilities signaled that they know these missions could be challenged by courts or future administrations. Hold on. Let me get this out the way.
What did you think about
So why is this such a big deal right now? Number one, the missions lack traditional legal overview. Okay, that's number one. Some orders are being transmitted through political appointees rather than military channels. Okay, national security lawyers inside the government are deeply alarmed, according to PBS reporting. Okay, I'm just taking notes from what I've read myself and what I've watched. So soldiers are unsure if executing orders is safe. Leadership integrity is being questioned. Potential constitutional conflict looms between uniformed military and civilian leaders. And this is an issue. This is a concern. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but right's right. And I always say this, and it wrongs nobody. Okay. But the concern that I have is for people to understand that what is currently happening, it will end. And when it does, the question is, where will you be when the smoke clears? Because for every action, there is a reaction. What do they say? What you sow is what you reap. You reap what you sow. Come on now. Y'all know how this works. That's universal law. That's universal law. Like, you cannot continue to keep thinking that whatever you do in the dark is never going to come to the light. You cannot continue to keep thinking that you will not, listen closely, that you will not see what you're doing come back rooted, because it does. Always remember that in everything that you do. In everything that you do, always remember that everything has a consequence. No matter what you decide to do. Even with me doing what I'm doing and taking inventory necessary.
That's Joby thing. Choice.
I have to take inventory before I send these things out.
Yeah, choices have consequences. If you don't know that, then you will be fucked up.
It will reap a reward for me if I put in the work. Everything that you do is going to reap a harvest. Just like this.
Exactly. But let me go through the comments of the people on the chat as we continue with what you are saying. Chat to everyone with us on the chat. I see earlier we had Jibadaba says if they increase the posture in the South China Sea in the next few weeks, then yes. You think China could hit Taiwan? I was reading an article, Keith, of which says the fact that we have America and Israel attacking Iran, there could
going
be
on. I don't think China's gonna go no Taiwan, because China doesn't When the last time China had a war, guy? China doesn't have the technical skills. See, remember, even though technically we know Taiwan was actually China too, just like Hong Kong. But Taiwan doesn't want to go back and be China anymore. It's his own country. So that would take a assault to an amphibious assault. When was the last time you see China do an amphibious assault? These things are technical. So understand. Before we leave, I'm having Joe look this up. Taiwan is one of the most fortified islands on the planet. So the mass casualties that China would have,
so
they wouldn't recover from. Roger, go ahead.
Allow me read it for you again, and maybe for those who are just tuning in to understand the context of it. So it says, if America and Israel attacks Iran, could China do the same with Taiwan? Let me share my screen kindly as I read that.
I'm saying the answer is no.
Okay.
Let's see what it says.
All right. So it says the setup is, imagine the scenario. The United States becomes deeply involved in a war with Iran. Aircraft carriers move to the Persian Gulf. Military resources shift to the Middle East. America attention is locked in one crisis. And across Pacific, another superpower watches carefully. In geopolitics, timing is everything. Sometimes the biggest move happens when rivals are distracted.
True.
Is why Taiwan is so important is because Taiwan is not just a small island. It produces the most advanced
computer chips.
One company alone, TSMC, markets about 90% of the world's advanced semiconductors. And these chips power smartphones, AI systems, fighter jets, state lights, including also military technology. Control Taiwan and you control a critical piece of the global tech economy. China's long-term goal is China considers Taiwan part of its territory. For decades, Beijing has said reunification is inevitable, but there is one major obstacle, which is the United States. America maintains military alliances and security commitments around Taiwan. This creates one of the most dangerous geopolitical flashpoints in the world. What happens if Iran war starts fast, which of course we've seen it has already started? The conflict began in the Middle East. America and the allies become heavily involved with Iran. Naval fleets move, air power shifts, military logistic focus on one region. Strategists then ask a question: would China see that moment as a strategic opportunity?
Opportunity to go.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed, but geopolitically,
and were the people in Thailand and were the people in Taiwan get into their coffin homes too?
Oh my! Alive and you're living in a coffin. Crazy. Taiwan's strategic military location is that Taiwan sits inside what military experts call the first island chain. The chain limits the ability to project naval power into the Pacific. If Taiwan were controlled by China, China's navy gains wider Pacific access. U.S. regional military balance changes, and the key shipping routes shift. Taiwan is not only a symbolic, it's a strategic military gateway. Goes on and talks about global shock. A war over Taiwan would shake the entire global economy. Semiconductor production could collapse, industries affected, including the cars, smartphones, and AI technology, also the defense system and the global manufacturing. Some economic models estimate a Taiwan conflict could cost the world.
Before you get all that shit to Taiwan, it's got to come out of the ground first in Africa. Go ahead.
Exactly. So they're saying sometimes economic models estimate that a Taiwan conflict could cost the world over $10 trillion in economic damage. This would be far bigger than a regional war. It would be a global economic earthquake. And when multiple wars collide, history shows how conflicts can spread. World War, like One began with the assassination, and soon the alliances activated and multiple nations entered the war. Today, the world is even more interconnected. Middle East plus Taiwan conflict could pull in the United States, China, Russia, and NATO allies. And then we have regional powers in Asia. And suddenly the world faces a multi-front global conflict. And they're saying that why experts fear the escalation is because military analysts warn about the dangerous factors, including the escalation chains. If two major powers clash, the allies are pulled in, trade collapses, energy prices spike up, and financial markets crash. The world economy could face a global recession, supply chain collapse, massive market volatility. War today doesn't only destroy cities, it can destabilize an entire global system. And what could be lost is also we have massive economic losses, global supply shortages, financial crisis, technology distribution, humanitarian disasters. Modern war doesn't only destroy battlefields, it can reshape the global order itself. So literally the world today runs on a fragile balance. Energy flows through the Middle East, technology flows through Taiwan. If both regions ignite at the same time, the consequences could reach every country on earth. That's why governments, investors, and strategists watch this region so closely, because sometimes one conflict can change the future of the entire world. So okay, what do you guys think? Let me know as I go through the comments, as I go back to the comments.
Before this up real quick, when you go to comments, you can wrap it up. Say, go to TikTok, say Taiwan. Taiwan is one of the most fortified islands on the planet, and China could never take it.
Is the most
one of the most fortified.
Got it.
One of the most fortified islands on the planet, and China could never take it. Never. China would it would get bogged down and try to take. See, and then how you gonna bring them back in? Remember, those are people in Taiwan are Chinese people. So now you're murdering and killing Chinese people to make them come back to you. Say that you do win. How's that gonna work? Now you done murdered all these other Chinese people. They're just gonna say, yeah, we're gonna be part of China again.
I'll ask like Summer Walker, where she asked in one of our songs, where do they do that at? Where do they do that? Where?
Why would the U.S. risk World War III for one tiny island? Here's what's really happening in 1 minute. Taiwan is just 100 miles off China's coast, but it holds something China wants, and the U.S. cannot afford to lose. Taiwan makes over 90% of the world's advanced microchips, the most important tech on Earth. For iPhones, F-35 fighter jets, AI systems, even U.S. nuclear weapons. One factory in Hsinchu, Taiwan, TSMC, controls it all. If China invades Taiwan, they control the world's chip supply. U.S. industry, paralyzed. Military, crippled. But there's more. Taiwan is a military gatekeeper. It sits between Japan and the Philippines, both U.S. allies. Lose Taiwan, and China dominates the Pacific. And here's the real reason. If the U.S. doesn't defend Taiwan, every ally starts to doubt America. Japan, South Korea, even NATO. So this isn't just about Taiwan. It's about tech, power, and credibility. That's why the U.S. is preparing for war. Because if Taiwan falls, the global order falls with it. What would happen if China invades Taiwan? If China tried to take Taiwan by force, it wouldn't stay a local crisis. It would become a global problem. Across the Taiwan Strait, roughly 130 to 180 kilometers wide, moves more than 1/5 of the world's maritime trade. If that traffic slows down or suddenly becomes more expensive, the shockwave spreads fast. Energy prices, food costs, shipping insurance, supply chains, and everyday life far beyond Asia. Then comes the biggest unknown, the United States. There's no formal defense treaty with Taiwan, but there is a long-standing policy framework that supports arms sales in maintaining the capacity for Taiwan to resist coercion, without automatically promising military intervention. If the U.S. decides to step in, the conflict stops being only about Taiwan. Japan becomes pivotal because it hosts U.S. installations that support operations across the region.
Remember, before Taiwan, sadly, we're going to be honest here. We're going to be honest. Japan had Taiwan as a Chinese slave island. So China hasn't had Taiwan in over 100 years. Back then, Japan controlled it and had Chinese on there as their slave. That's how wicked the Japanese were. I'm just keeping up. Taiwan was a Japanese slave island, where the Japanese went and raped Chinese women, beat them, enslaved them in, enslaved the women. You know, Japan is a wicked fucking country. It is a wicked shit. So, especially to the Chinese and the Koreans. Remember, they also enslaved the Koreans. Japan was like the white man of Asia. They enslaved the Chinese, they enslaved the Koreans, they enslaved the Filipinos. And they still not sorry. And Japan has never told nobody sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
China tries to block that intervention. The most direct move is to pressure or even strike those support hubs. And that can pull Tokyo in, even if Japan doesn't want the war. Farther south, the Philippines matters for a simple reason too. It offers access and presence closer to the area, especially in the north. If those sites are used for logistics or surveillance, they can also become targets. And that's the kind of step that can accelerate escalation. At the same time, the economy becomes a second front. Taiwan produces around 60% of the world's semiconductors and more than 90% of the most advanced chips. So a war or blockade doesn't just disrupt sea roads. It means factories stalled, technology rationed, and countries competing for the same critical components at the exact same time.
No more new Samsungs and iPhones and Huawei's. No more new iPhones, nigga. No more Samsungs. No more new Huawei.
That's to everyone again on the chat. Danny Harrison says, yeah, but I'm excited about living in Kenya already. That's what's up. And also says that's one of the reasons Kennedy was unalived, and that and audits of central banks and dismantled of CIA and I.
Yeah, he's gonna mess with all the cat projects, right? The CIA, the Federal Reserve Bank fucking with the fake money. He's doing everything. Like, hey, are you out of your mind? Yeah. We're going to blow your brain out of your head, out of your mind. We're going to blow that up out of there. It ain't nothing going to happen.
And Jibba says U.S. Embassy sent text to nationals out saying you are on your own. I know that's right.
Yeah, President. Think of the U.S. because Iran bombed all the airports. So the people in America, like Jim said, Americans always get their people out. They can't now because they can't. There's no airports. You ain't getting the fuck out of there now. And America said, hey, get back home the best way you can. What? What? You start a war. You know these morons didn't know you was going to start a war. I would have already known. I ain't going to no damn Dubai, none of that shit. They about to start a war. But these other morons didn't know that. They said, get back home the best way you can. Well, there ain't no airports. Well, we said the best way you can. Catch a boat, nigga.
That's crazy. Telling them to leave. How are they supposed to leave? Yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, how are they supposed to leave? Leave how?
You get on the inner tube like the Haitians and get in the ocean. That's what you do.
or climb a tree, like the Kenyans are told, climb a tree, seek help, climb a tree.
Oh shit, climb a tree. Anybody say that? That's crazy.
Sausage Majaba says Iran blew up the US $1.8 billion radar installation with a $30,000 drone. They have over 100,000, some reports read. I've also seen that too. And says that the Magas cooks say he is playing 3D chess.
5D chess. The mega cooks, the mega morons. He's playing. They're so stupid because he's stupid. He's playing 5D chess. Wait, whenever they do, whenever something stupid and it don't make sense, they all playing 5D. They're playing fifth dimensional chess. Their chess masters are they're geniuses. Hey, what? It's all retarded. These people are exactly crazy. Joey's doing 5D chess when she don't pay her rent for 3 months and they put her out. Why did you do that? Because I'm playing 5D chess. Aren't you just stupid?
There's one thing I don't play about is rent.
But Joey, you be playing 5D chess.
I'd rather starve but ensure my rent is paid. I don't care.
You're playing 5D chess, Joby.
Hey, but I also see Jabba says the immediate threat to America is our empty wallets. 10-speed Karibu says
You got that right. Who said that? Jimmy, that's right. Me and exactly. A threat to America is our empty wallets and why we can't pay for shit. Why we can't pay rent, pay for food. That's the imminent threat. What are you talking about?
10-speed say they caught Mossad on American air bases, in other surrounding countries.
Did they? Yeah. I told Joe, but they caught Mossad. I was going to have Joe look that up. The Mossad got caught around the bases and the oil fields, trying to blame it on Iran to blow shit up. It's crazy.
Ricky says there are over 50 Caucasian MAGA workers who work with me. I think that's what you meant. And they already ran to Canada, or they're ready to run to Canada. I don't know what you mean, but also see, you're saying you're talking about.
They already moved to Canada to be safe. We're out of here. We're going to Canada.
Shout out to Cages Williams. Jibas says the Bahrainians were cheering as the drone struck the.
They were. Remember the Bahrainians. I told you about these fake kingdoms they made, right? These fake Sunni leaders are not really kings because the population are Shia. They're part of the Shia Islam faith. The rulers that the British put there are Sunnis. So they've been one. Remember, they tried to overthrow them a couple of years ago, and the fucking Saudis came in to stop it because it ain't the same religious set. Remember, that's how you know this shit is all fake kingdoms, right? The majority of people in Bahrain are Shia Islam, and they made the leaders Sunni Islam. How can they be the king of a Shia country? Well, it don't matter. The British made it so. So what? So that's what so even they were getting attacked, they were cheering. Yeah! Bomb these motherfuckers, damn right. But don't you live here? Yeah. But we want this shit bombed and overthrow these motherfuckers. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Cassius Williams says Trump is trying to get the Epstein files off his back. Also adding that.
Of course. It's also the Epstein files. They're trying to come Epstein files and like, listen, you can blow up a motherfucking million Iranians out of that rubble. Just blow it all up like they're doing now. Somebody gonna crawl up out that rubble and say, I still need them Epstein files, nigga.
I think I've seen the same similar quotes. I don't know which official from where I did the same thing. He said you can bombing a country on other sides, on the other side of the globe won't make the Epstein files go away.
That's right. I
don't know who this is. Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey. Yeah. He's a congressman out of Kentucky. Yeah, he's the only congressman that's not bought and paid for by Israel. That's why they're trying to get his ass out of Congress. He's the only one that told you Israel controls all. He said Israel controls all these fucking people. I'm the only one. And remember, they murdered his wife last year. Keep your mouth shut about Israel. What the fuck is going on with Congress? He told you I'm the only congressman that don't got an Israeli handler. Not only does Israel control them, all Congress people, senators, and have an Israeli Mossad handler that walks up and down the hallway with them. Make sure they do what they told to do. Can you imagine this? He said, and we didn't. Thomas Massey pointed out, we didn't know that. Everybody's got a Mossad handler. That's like I have Joby there. There's been another lady sitting next to Joby. I said, who's that? That's my Mossad handler. What? He tells me what to say. And so him mentioning that, they killed his wife. Got her ass out of here. Crazy. So that's what it is. That's what it is, Joby.
John Mosquito Karibu. 10-speed says all the presidents, have done illegal acts of war in Israel.
Of course.
Those military.
Of course, because they control. Of course.
Jibba Jabba says Trump shits it on his pants, smell awful, has an STD, talks like a moron, lies if his lips move, fires.
Imagine these are things we do know about. He's full of he's had STDs. We know he dookies on himself. And the mega morons treat him like he's God. He run around with doo-doo. His dick is fucked up with all kind of feces and STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. He's a moron. And the mega, that's like, we dumbed down as a kid. Yeah, Trump is our guy. Yeah, yeah. And they love, like the guy told you yesterday, they love bloodlust. Anybody getting blown up that ain't white, they love it. They go, oh, yes, blow them up again. Somebody's baby, a little black baby. Joey B. almost said, what about the humanity? Bitch, are you crazy? See the way his head came off? Yeah! Go ahead.
I'm good. Jibba Jabba says AI podcasts are getting more realistic. I know. I love me some AI talk. I'm not gonna lie. They exaggerate it. They know how to exaggerate shit. Casual William says the Bush and the Dick Cheney did the exact same.
Dick Cheney.
Iraq from Reagan to Trump.
Yeah, of course, they did, but they did the same thing. They did the same thing, but they took longer. Remember, it took them months to go to Iraq. It wasn't all of a sudden he just found out they were blowing up Iraq. What did they tell you? For like half a year, they made you believe that Iraq had something to do with 9/11. And said, Saddam has deadly weapons. Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Saddam has something to do with the towers coming down. That was 6 months of that shit. Saddam is a threat. Saddam is evil. Saddam has got chemical weapons. Saddam is trying to get a bomb. Saddam, we knew they were lies, but at least they took 6 months because it was so good. I told you, white people run around beating up on the Arabs back then because they believed a lie. Yeah, you find the Arabs just going to the store, getting beat up. Get in, you dirty Arab. Take this, goddammit. This is a lie. This is a 9/11. You Allah this, motherfucker. You know, right? Allah, take this, you Allah, motherfucker. Remember they beating up Arabs and shit because of Bush being president saying, is the Arabs, they're dangerous. That was a build-up, and we knew we were going to attack. So that was known. It wasn't no motherfucker to wake up. I didn't even know. I said it was coming over. I said, wait, they're coming for Iran, right? Because we know it was going to happen, right? Because we seen the build-up, right? I'm sitting at home Saturday, about to prepare for the show. I'm seeing them come my TikTok feed. America's bombed Iran. God damn. They ain't say shit. They just did it. At least with Bush and Cheney, at least they built that shit up. Go ahead, Joe.
Kejelim says I can fight for the country and the VA don't want to give you disability.
VA don't want to give you nothing. That's another thing. America wants you to go get fucked up. Get your arm blown off. I told you about my dick. Get your dick blown off and come back and leave you fucked up. Won't give you no money. Have you out there with no dick and no arm. Can't get a job. You living underneath a bridge. And thank you for your. What's wrong with you? I was in the military. I went to Iraq and got my dick blown off. Well, too bad for you, stupid.
How do you live without a dick? Like, how is that even possible?
What do you mean? Happens all the time. We ain't live without a dick. You don't get no coochie, I tell you that.
People survive that? Having your dick
Yeah, okay. We're going to look at a movie. No, it's a kid. They're not going to make it.
No, that makes me feel nothing. No. No.
You guys remember the movie with Tom Cruise, born on the 4th of July, when he got his dick blown off, and he's in there with the prostitutes. He said, he's like, what's wrong with you? I said, she said, you know I don't do nothing, right? Well, what happened? I got my dick blown off to him in Vietnam.
Bye. Like, you better find us. What am I supposed to do with you? Like the hell?
Nothing. They can't. You know when everybody frustrated. Everybody look at the movies all frustrated. Yeah, man. I went to war, got my dick blown off.
Yeah,
That's
because
your fault.
I'm not living with you. Please, bye. Go find another wife. Please, nah, I'm not doing that.
At least Joey kept it real 100.
I'm about to be sexually frustrated. Being nice.
Joey didn't do like the white woman. Well, that's bad. You know, we can probably find something to work it out, and you can still live a good life. Joey said, "Fuck that. I ain't fucking with you."
I'm moving on. Especially, I'm finding literally someone to move to that day. I'm not.
Remember his girlfriend came back. He had to tell her, "I don't got no dick." She's like, "Oh," try to love on him and kiss him. So I can't do anything. My dick is gone.
Right.
Look at Joey, no good. That's your love of your life, Joey. He went to war, Joey. Came back to find you, Joey.
Your life with my love ends here. So your life is.
Yes, Joey. I lost my dick, but I love you still. I went to war. Is that?
That's more than just money and words, like crazy. But Katie also says the marks are coming out that Trump pulling the bait and switching. This reminds me of the movie A Few Good Men.
You get me? Yeah, that's another Tom Cruise movie. You can't handle the truth. You want me up on it? You can't. I want the truth, Joey. You can't handle the truth that you got no dick. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Kids also adding people never served. I think people who never served don't know how military works. It's all politics.
It's all politics, Cash. It's all. I didn't know till I got it how political it was. It's all political. And it's racist as fuck. It might be better now. It's racist. The racism is palpable. You're like, damn, once you go die for this racist motherfucking country, and the military you're in is racist towards you. It's crazy.
The Baba says it's $5 million to transport his shit to. Okay, let me get that again correctly. It's $5 million to transport his shit to
Mar-a-Lago. That's his estate in Florida, Joby. That's his estate in Florida, Mar-a-Lago.
So he can act big. 10 Spinoza says, I think Trump is no more than any other recent president that the media is completely brought by the Democrats, Zionists. Obama illegally bombed
Democrats? Get past that Democrat shit. You keep talking. Democrats are not a party. They don't care about no Democrats or Republicans. They control both parties 10 speed. Both parties. There's no such thing as a party. The Zionists control all of it. The Catholics control all of it. They're the ones put Trump in power. They're the ones kept his ass as a fake billionaire. They're the ones kept bailing his ass out every time he went bankrupt. The Rothschilds directly were bailing his ass out. They're the ones put him in power. Understand this. There's not no Zionist Democrats. The Zionists control all of America, all of it. You can't run for political office nowhere, not even dog kitchen, unless the Zionists back your ass. That's why you can't even get a job now in certain states. Joby always showed you. I showed you guys. Most of the states in the country, you can't even get a job unless you sign an agreement to support Israel. What the fuck? Me living in Alabama got to do with I got to sign some shit to support Israel. Or me living in Texas, California, New York, Illinois. We looked that up last year for you guys, or 2 years ago. That's a fact. I got to sign a document to I support Israel to get a job in Alabama. To shovel shit out the street. Like, what? Go ahead, Joe.
Crazy. Shout to the says Okay, shout out to you. I also see says America is always going around the world, stealing something.
Of course.
Say 10 speed says Israel Mossad caught bombing airports in Kuwait and Dubai.
I know. That's what I told you. Exactly. They're blowing up shit and blaming Iran. Because they know they need boots on the ground. So they need bodies. So they need to get the other Arabs mad and say, the Iranians are bombing the fuck out. Let's go to war with these motherfuckers. Yeah! Because they need boots on the ground to get to them goddamn underground caves where they got the missiles at. Go ahead, Joe.
10 speed says Epstein file will probably show Michelle Obama is Big Mike.
I do, but you don't need the files for that. Go look at some pictures.
Wake Up says basically that was better lie they told. I think MAGA left Trump because of their bold to Israel 10 speed. Joby, you pee in a bag and be miserable. Oh no, shit.
Yeah, exactly. You pee in the bag. It's called a catheter, Joby. It's something called a catheter where you got a penis. You got to put a thing down your penis is gone. So you put it down where your stomach, and you got this thing, and you pee in a bag.
Yeah, I've seen that.
There you go.
Not connect me with that. Ew, I'm not.
But I love you, Joe. I love you. You're my childhood sweetheart, Joby. I'm about to want to come back to fall in love with you and be with you.
I'm cruel. Don't let nobody like you. I'm not nice. I'm cruel at some certain point. I shit about your feelings, and I'm not nice like that. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up at that. Thank you so much to everyone who's been
much love, family. We're coming back to Friday. Joey does a Thursday show tomorrow, the music and stuff. So I see everybody back here Friday. Yeah. So if you fall in love with Joey, when you was in high school sweetheart, and you go to war and get fucked up, don't come back to Joey.
If you love me, you deposit money in my account. That's how it works, okay? Deposit some cash in my account. That's just the way. From there, like I can't take you serious if you're not sure.
All right, I'm giving you cash, but I got no dick and balls. Can we just hug and rub?
I can take some cash. I can benefit some cash before I discover you don't have a dick. Then I'm a dick. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll take some
love, man. So I told you about that. I'm gonna say that movie. Just no.
Much love, family.
Much love, guys.
Beautiful day. See you guys tomorrow. Peace and we